Hi guys, hello, welcome to the third meeting for the Advanced Steel user group. Welcome everyone. I'm going to jump straight into it and we'll have a look at the agenda. So I'm Jonathan, I'm Technical Marketing Manager here at Symmetry UK in the UK, and I'm just going to introduce our agenda. So today we've got two awesome speakers. We've got Svetoslav, I hope I've said that right, who is the Chief BIM expert at BIM Academy, and they have the awesome plugin called Titan for Advanced Steel. So for those of you who have not seen it, we're going to get a little overview and a presentation of everything that Titan brings to the table, and then we shall open it out for if there are any questions, and then we are joined by Rob from Greytech, who's going to look at sharing design intent and the different ways that you can do this. So hopefully these sessions are what everyone wants to see. And then that should be about 20 minutes for each session, and then take us closer to about 6:50, where we can open it out for questions, and then we can then just close it. The session is recorded as per usual. It will be posted on YouTube later tonight on structuralbim. So a little bit about me. So as I said, I'm a technical marketing manager with Symmetry. I've been using Advanced Steel, blah, 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 blah. So for about 7-8 years. So when I was with Greytech, guys at Greytech trained me, and I've continued to use it ever since, and I'm just sort of always really interested in it. And then in 2016, I was made an Autodesk Expert Elite. And as I said, I've got a Structural BIM channel, and you can reach out and contact me on the email as shown, Twitter, on my YouTube or Facebook, or however else you want to get me. So as I said, this is the third ASUG, and the idea came to me, there was events for everything else but not really Advanced Steel, and myself and John Bennett did the original one at Autodesk University in Las Vegas. It was a physical event where we had a user group meeting at the Autodesk University, and then since then we've sort of tried to build that community, and the idea of it is to learn, to share, to ask questions, and to explore the software. So hopefully it's where all the users come together and we can learn, share, ask and explore together. So I'm going to pass it over to Svetoslav, who's going to show us all the cool stuff around Titan and what that brings to the table. So I'm just going to come out of the PowerPoint and back into Teams, and I think you can then just grab control, Svetoslav, and just take control of the sharing option. So I'll stop sharing, and then you should hopefully be able to take control and just share.
Okay. Okay, I show my screen.
Yeah, everything's good. All's coming through perfectly.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. At first, I'm Svetoslav, and at first, sorry for my spoken English. I will show you first slide. A little bit about me. I have experience in Advanced Steel more than 10 years. I'm a subject matter expert, Autodesk. I help Autodesk to translate some products like Advanced Steel and Revit to Russian language. And I'm Autodesk certified instructor, and now C# developer for Revit, Advanced Steel and AutoCAD. I have plugin for these programs. And I have a free Advanced Steel course on my YouTube channel. You can see links to my social media on the screen. And a little bit about my work. I worked in a steel building factory, Kenam, 2 years as a quality engineer and as drafter. After I worked in Greytech, Russia, as application engineer and pre-sale more than 7 years, and now I work in BIM Academy. This is one of the top BIM consulting company in Russia, and I will show you my plugin Titan for Advanced Steel, a bit of history, how it all started. When I worked in Greitec, our customers sometimes asked me about possibility to develop specific tools for Advanced Steel, and I called to developers in Greitec main office, maybe you know, in Romania, and asked them. They answered me, okay, no problem, we can do that, but we want 20,000 euro.
Let's not go there.
But for Russian market, it is a little bit, it is a scare price. Okay, then it became interesting to me how they do that. I knew how to program a little in different programming languages. After high school, I know VBA, Visual Scripts, C++ a little bit. And 3 years ago, I write my first plugin for Advanced Steel on C# to calculate welding lines. And over time, those tools have accumulated, and it turned out the plugin Titan, which I will tell you about. I have two versions of my plugin, Titan free version. Any user can download my plugin on our website from BIM Academy. Okay, I show you my dialog Advanced Steel, and will show you 3 commands. First tools, filters. I have filters for find similar objects in Advanced Steel. For example, you can mark the beams with the same cross sections in the model, or you can use this tool for the blades, and in this case you can mark all plate with the same thickness in the model. Next, sometimes in Advanced Steel you need to use this command, show all object, and in this case you can see many objects on the screen. This is traces for the view. After you need to use some filters to switch off them. You need to use filters for view boxes, joint boxes, levels, cameras, and so on. But you can use just one filter in Titan, a non-real filter, and switch off all objects. Next filter is specific, no need detail. This filter marks simple objects in the model. For example, you can mark all beams with straight cuts or rectangular plates. For example, these plates don't have any specific holes or cuts or fillets, and to produce these elements you don't need drawings. And you can see a specific remark inside without detail, and in user attributes you have specific attribute, and you can use this attribute to sort this element for processes and don't do single part drawings for these elements with processes. Okay. Next tools for locking elements, for locked elements. This is simple joint from connection vault, and for this joint, sometimes you can change material for this stiffener and for this stiffener, but I don't know why. But for this stiffener, material is locked, and to change material you need to remove joint boxes. This is not very good, but you can use this tool, set material. You can select all elements in this joint and set material. This drop-down lists from preferred sizes, and you can set any material. Changed. And the same tool for locked bolt, because in advanced steel, in joints, material for bolts are locked, and you can change it only inside the joint. But sometimes maybe you need to change material for many joints, and this is not very convenient. But you can use this tool and change material inside joints. This. Okay, next tools for indication in the model. Sections by layers. With this tool, you can set every cross section in the model to its own layer here, and colorize every cross sections to its own color. It may be convenient to use for preliminary model, and you can colorize model by assemblies, tool assemblies by layers. Every assembly in this case go to its own layer, and you can colorize assemblies by model rows. In this case, maybe you see every beams is magenta, columns orange, and so on. This is very convenient to export model to Navisworks, because in this case you can get a good object tree in Navisworks. Okay, and you can roll back and set standard layers. This is the result of this command. And I have a specific command to set every elements to its own groups by roles. This command allows you to set elements by model roles, to groups by model roles. For example, you have main part, column, all main part elements with model row column you can set to group, and every connected elements go to group 2. You can use this command to create drawings with processes. For example, you can start with column and after beam and so on. And this simple command to know what is this group element. This is free tools in free version, and next tools for in pro version you can find in pro version. I need to create use new template to show you. Building grids. Grids creation in advanced still not very convenient, and I create this tool to create grids, rectangular grids and levels at the same time. This is very simple. You need to input distance between axes and number of spans. For example, spans by 6 meters. If you need to input only one span, you can input just 1 meters, and you need to do the same for the across, and in this and here you need to input value of levels, and you can create level on this value. Here you can input name of axis, and you can use this checkbox to create views by all axes. Okay. In model views, you can see level and all axes. And if I use this command all visible, I can see all levels, and you can see grid on every level. You need to copy grids on every level to show in drawings plans. But with these tools you can do this automatically. Okay, next tools, auto trim. You can create cuts on preliminary model with these tools, and you can unite elements to assemblies. I will show it. You can set any type of shortening, for example, simple shortening for roof bracing. Input shortening at the start and at the end. Next, I can use shortening cut at object to unite truss. For example, truss top chord. I will cut diagonal element by top chord and create weld. The same for the bottom chord. And create weld. And I can use meter cut. I can create gap here and weld. And for example, notch for beams. And I can set gaps. Okay, I can save these properties or just run a little bit wait. Okay, ready. This is cuts for roof bracings. And I can check my assembly. This is meter cut and notch for all beams in the model. You can prepare model with this tool very fast. It's very convenient at the start of the modeling. And next tool, camera numbering. This is new tool. Okay, I just try to show you cameras in model. I have many different cameras with different type, and sometimes you need to manage them. This is convenient with this tool. You can set description of the camera and drawing style from this dialog. You can select camera type and input variables. For example, this is just number. For example, for note, you can use this variable. You can use variable grid. This variable show you closest axis, cross grid, closest axis across, percent level to show elevation value. You can use it for plans, and set drawing styles. In this drop-down list, you can select drawing styles from user folder. You can save these properties in this dialog and you can run. After, Titan show you report about camera numbering. You can see all cameras in the model, camera type descriptions, and camera drawing style. And with this handle ID, you can see position of the cameras in the model. Okay, Titan Titan have new functionality with bill of materials. You can see bill of materials for assemblies. This is a simple table with single part elements of the assembly. You can see this just in the model, for example, for checking. This is a sorted list with materials to create this assembly, and paint area. And if you use welding lines in the model, you can calculate welding length. This is sometimes actually you can create a table on drawings or copy this information to Excel. I will show you. You can create this bill of materials by whole model or only for the selected elements. For example, I can select all columns and create bill of materials only for columns or for the whole model. You can mark element from this table, for example, column. This is single part list, metal list, bill of drawings, only one. Okay. And I can input this table inside drawings. This is AutoCAD table. It is easy to set. You can create 2 columns for this bill of material. Okay, and I have other type of schedules, bill of sections. This is specific table with cross sections drafts here, and this bill of materials. This bill of materials by groups. You can see groups here: beam, purlin, columns, and here beam, columns, purlins, and so on. And next, bill of bolts and bill of weld lines. You can input here and change type of this schedule here. Okay, and options. You can set calculation method, rounding, and bill of materials formatting, font, height of rows, compression, margin, and other properties, and language here. Titan supports in parallel units too. Okay, I finished. If you have any questions, I think I can answer.
Wow, thank you. There is a lot in that. I didn't realise there was as much. I have a couple of questions. Have you developed this all yourself? It's all you, or is there a team?
No, I haven't got team, but I have a colleague with big experience in programming, and he helps me.
Okay, it's excellent. I congratulations. I think there's some really, really good things in there.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, without stating the obvious, there is lots of things in Advanced Steel that are missing. I think you address quite a lot of them, so I can see it's definitely for me an excellent plug-in. I hope lots of people are buying it, because it definitely looks very, very useful, and hopefully lots of people will be able to see it. I'm not sure if there's any questions or not. Anyone got any questions? This is where you get the deathly silence. If there are any questions, reach out to myself or Svetoslav if you've got any questions, and I'm sure we will come back to you. I can direct anything over to him, and he can come back. So thank you. That was wonderful. That was a really, really good insight, and I hope everyone will enjoy it. So thank you very much for taking your time. It's very much appreciated by myself and hopefully everyone else on the group. So I'm going to pass over to Rob. Rob, are you there?
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you. Rob, I think you can probably take control of the share options. You can probably share direct. Yeah, you're in straight away.
I'm still here. I had a slight toddler meltdown in the middle of all of that, so
Yep.
I had to mute myself and go and deal with a screaming toddler.
So did I. That is the nature of it. But you're back. That's the main thing, Rob.
Hopefully 20 minutes of no screaming, we should be fine.
Okay, I'll let you go, and I'll just mute and turn off my camera, mate, and let you go.
Okay, no problem. Afternoon, evening, good morning everyone, depending on where you are, if you're watching this as a recording. My name's Rob Merriman. I am an application engineer here at Greytech in the UK. And we're just going to do a 20-minute rundown on sharing your Advanced Steel models. So there's me and all my information. If you do have any questions, as Jonathan has said, reach out to me on email. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, I'm on the Facebook, a couple of the Facebook Advanced Steel groups, so just reach out to me. So in total, I think this might need a bit of updating now. It's nearly 13 years working in the construction industry. It is the only industry I've worked in since I left university. So I started off as an architectural metalwork and structural steelwork draftsman using Advanced Steel. In that time I worked in two subcontract drawing offices. So working in a subcontract drawing office means that I worked for about 10 to 15 fabricators in each company, all doing slightly different things. And now I work as an application engineer for Greytech in the UK. So I take that 8 years of industry experience and now provide demonstrations, training, technical support, implementation, customization for structural CAD packages. Predominantly Advanced Steel, but because that's built on top of AutoCAD, we work with AutoCAD. Now that Advanced Steel has been added to the AC collection, I'm slowly expanding my knowledge to look at steelwork in Revit, steelwork with Navisworks, what we can do with Fusion 360, so just everything to do with steelwork and what's available in the AC collection. So what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at sharing your models online. So we're going to look at what, where, how and why, how to set up the Advanced Steel model, how does the online viewer work, what we can do about collaborating, what we can do with shared views. I will touch on QR codes. I probably don't have enough time to do that in today's session. I have done this in a bit more depth, which is available on our Greytech UK content portal. So let's crack on. What, where, how and why. So we are going to look at the Autodesk Viewer. It is an online viewer, so first and foremost it can read 50 plus formats, 2D and 3D drawings and models. You simply just go to viewer.autodesk.com. With your Advanced Steel or AEC subscription, you guys have access to this Autodesk Viewer. So you don't have to pay for anything, don't have to install anything. It's the same login that you use for your Advanced Steel. And we don't need to export our model to any format. You simply just upload the DWG file. We can make it even simpler than that. We can upload the shared view from Advanced Steel. We'll see how quick my internet is streaming this, and with the kids downstairs watching Peppa Pig, no doubt. And the key thing here, the Autodesk Viewer works on a web browser, tablet or smartphone. So one problem I've encountered in the past is clients are reluctant to download or install any software. Sometimes it's a company's IT that won't install anything. Sometimes you could be doing, let's say you're doing a high-end architectural staircase for a domestic customer. They're not interested in installing any software on their computer. It means that they can explore your model in a 3D environment, like I said, on a browser, tablet or smartphone. Now that I've been sort of, and even when Jonathan was at Grey Tech, we started banging the drum about this 2-3 years ago. I now show it on every training that we do. We've now got a few customers that actually use this tool for tendering, so when they're trying to win jobs, and it is making people stand out from everyone else. It also helps your site team. So it's not just something to send to your customers, it's something that you guys can use internally as well. So your site teams can view the models, read the mark numbers, check the bolt lengths, check the bolt types. I did see something on LinkedIn today where a company out in Ireland have actually installed a massive interactive screen in their workshop. So again, we could upload this and they can view that just through a browser. They don't need to install any software. And again, if managers are going to site meetings and things like that, in the past I've been dragged to site meetings with my laptop to sit there and spin the model around. Well, that can take up a whole morning's worth of my time where I could be modeling other projects. So if I can give someone a link that they can do in their web browser, then anyone can view the model. So before we do anything, you do need to set up your Advanced Steel model. So when you're uploading, you do need to hide what you don't want to show, so you can use the filters, or even Svetoslav and the Titan plugin that we just seen that function that will tidy up the model. So you want to turn off your joint boxes, your cameras, your welds, turn off any 2D setting out. You want to make sure your anchors, bolts and shear studs are set to display type solids, and I would set your visual styles to realistic. Now this is important. If you do have any custom data, you do need to click the Store Use Data button. And then once everything's been set, you save the file. So we'll just do it on this model. Doesn't take too long. Cameras off. Cameras off even. And we will just select the bolts. Just check their properties. So solid, same for the anchors. And then we simply save the model. So how do we get this to the online view? There's a couple of ways we can do this. So one is shared views. So shared views is an Autodesk AutoCAD function, and because Advanced Steel is built on top of AutoCAD, we have access to that function, and it allows me to upload that model direct from the Advanced Steel environment. So it's found on your Collaborate tab. You've got shared views in there, and then we can click the new shared view. One thing we have found with a couple of customers is we weren't getting the Advanced Steel properties. We couldn't figure out why. That's because there is an option to say share object properties, and then the shared view palette will show all your uploads and when people make comments. Now shared views was only available for customers who had an AEC collection, so had the whole collection. December last year, so 3-4 months ago now, Autodesk changed that. It's now available for customers with a standalone advanced deal as well. And there is a link in there. So we'll give this a whirl. So we will go to the Collaborate tab, click the Shared Views button, and I can say, give me a new shared view. So I'm going to say, share object properties, share the current view only. We'll call it Essentials Training Advanced Deal User Group 3, and we will click the share. Now that is going to upload in the background. We can see down here in the bottom right of my screen, that is publishing the shared view. We can direct upload as well. So you can log into the viewer with your Autodesk account, so I'll do that in a minute. Now if you want to manually upload a file, you just click Upload New File and choose your file. Once it's processed, the viewer will open automatically for you, and you need to make sure you can click 3D View. All the advanced deal properties will show, so remember what I'm doing here is I'm just working with the DWG file. We can zoom, pan, walk, all in the viewer. We can do a section on the model, we can explode the model, we can do measures, we can mark up, we can isolate objects. Any materials that are attached to advanced deal objects don't work, and I have had it recently when I did this as a full webinar beginning of the year. If you have the glass material, sometimes that will make objects that aren't on the glass, that are associated with that glass layer, it will mess up the transparency. The only way is to remove the glass material from your model. Okay, we'll come back to that. So let's go literally to the Autodesk Online Viewer. So you can see that this is the Essentials Training Advanced Deal User Group 3 is uploading at the moment. It's still uploading. So I'm going to manually upload a file. As if by magic, I do have a couple I prepared earlier. So I have our training file. Now because it's uploading a DWG and we have a couple of paper space tabs in there, it thinks there might be other things to upload. So there aren't, so we'll just say there's nothing else to upload. That is then going to process and upload the model. And I'm hoping that the fact that I've got my two children downstairs probably both watching something on different devices and I'm doing it, I'm hoping that this is not going to take too long. It usually only takes a minute or so. My other model, the one that I did through the shared views, has finished. I've just got an email about that, so I'll show you that as well. So you can see here I'm in the 2D view. Now, if I go to the 3D view, there is our advanced deal training model. Now, one thing I've done already is in this model, because I haven't prepped properly, I haven't clicked the store used button option. So these sections in here that are user sections, they have not been uploaded. So we'll see how we get on with time. We might come back and redo that. You can see in here that everything has come through. Now in here at the bottom we have our pan, orbit, zoom. I can go into first person mode, which for those gamers, we can spin around with the mouse. And we can, with the keys, actually move around. And because gravity is enabled, it will even allow me to walk up one stair and down the other stair. And then we can come and have a look underneath here. And this is the benefit. I'm doing this in a web browser. So anything that I'm doing on my screen, your customers can do. There's no software involved here. If I bring up the properties, I can then select that. It will tell me all of the advanced steel data, that it's a straight beam, what the section size is, what the material is, what its model roll is, what its number is. So the guys on site, if they're not sure what assembly that is, they've got that information there. All the user attribute information will come through. If we click on a bolt, that will bring up all that information as well, that it's a 30mm M12 countersunk. So again, the site guys can check this. Your architect can actually, in their meetings, have a proper look round at exactly what's going on. If we come out of first person mode, and we'll use our view cube, we'll go back here. We can push the wrong button. I don't want to go back to first person mode. We can do things like section the model. We can spin that round so we can section there. Then we can start to drag things forward so we can see what it looks like on our platform, what the staircase looks like as it's being built. Where are we? We're right for a second. So we can turn the sectioning off. If you want to start measuring things, we can come in here and it will pick up the snap points. So we could start to measure the clear width on the staircase to check that information. So we can see the width on that. We can explode the model. It's a little bit gimmicky, but that will actually explode the model for you. So you can see its component parts. And then this is where it does start to get quite cool. If someone isn't happy with something in here, we can come in here and start to mark it up. Can put a bit of text in. We need a junction between the handrails. I can save that comment. And no matter where I'm looking at in here, if I click on that comment, it will take me to that comment and we can start to see that comment as well. Now that will show up, let's say that I sent that to a customer, as long as they have an Autodesk account, so they don't need any software, you can get a free Autodesk account. Anyone can make comments on this and you will get an email automatically about that. So if we go back to the model viewer, here's my essentials training that we've done for today's presentation. You can see it's all uploaded. This model, for example, does have the glass material in it, so you can see that's why I can partially see through this, so we should remove that glass material. If I add a comment in here and we maybe measure between the doors, we could add a markup in here. Needs to be 6.5 meters, for example. If I save that comment, we'll go back to my advanced steel model. If I refresh this now in the shared views, you can see that the model I uploaded manually, because this is linked to my Autodesk account, and I'm also signed in on my Autodesk account in the viewer, it knows that I uploaded this. It's all linked together. And we can see that the comment I just added on here a minute ago will now show, and I can actually see it in this shared views window. Now it will take me to the viewer, it will log me in, and it will take you to that comment. And I suppose the last thing, let's go back, let's see where we are. So let's look at collaborating. So once we've uploaded it to the viewer, which we've just done, it's all linked to my account. So So my advanced deal is linked to rob.merriman. My online viewer is linked to the same account. I can then share the file. So it creates a link that we'll share with anyone. You don't need an Autodesk account to view the file. Anyone can view it. If they have or create an account, then they can do the markup. These comments will come straight to your model, to your inbox, and they'll show just like we've shown there. So I think my final point will be that I can click the share button, I can copy that link, for example, and then I can paste it in the chat window, and anyone can then view that link. Now, the final thing that you can do to take it a little bit further is, if you share a link, that's fine as long as people have got access to the link via an email, or they will have to just type it in. Now, your site guys might be using printed GA drawings. Well, I have seen some people take the link from the online viewer, use a QR code generator, and then put that QR code back on your GA drawing. So in the past, I've used QR code monkey, and then you can even add an image to the QR code, and then you can just attach that, and it becomes a DWG. Adrian Mangan, who presented, I believe, at the first Advanced Deal online user group, he has his own AirCAD YouTube channel, and he found an app from the Autodesk App Store that you can automatically create a QR generator that works inside AutoCAD. So once installed, you can create QR codes directly on your DWG. And there's the QR code in there. I think, if I can find it very, very quickly, I will have an example of that, and then that will be all I will be showing today. Let me just see if I can find that drawing. Okay, one of the links has expired. That's because I did this webinar a few months ago, but you can see in here, this QR code in here, that was generated from the QR code in here. So then anyone can scan this and it will open on a tablet, smartphone. Oh, and there is a little, okay, we'll finish this up. There you can see my little desk in there. And this is me with that printed drawing. And just to show that it will work, there's the QR code that I generated with the Greatech logo in. That will then take me to the link for that, and it's just to show that this will work using a tablet or smartphone. So like I said, the site guys, a customer for example, or a client who doesn't have any software, there is everything working on a smart device. And I appreciate I am running out of time here, so I will ask if anyone has any questions. I haven't seen any come through on the chat, and I'm probably using up all of your time, Jonathan, anyway.
Nah, don't worry about that. That's fine. Yeah, if there is any questions, just shout them out. It's that what you've just shown so underutilized, I think. Most people think, because it looks a bit like BIM 360, because the viewer is effectively the same Forge viewer.
Yes.
It's just so useful. It's so useful that it's just an education thing, I think, isn't it?
I show it now on every training, because I just think whether you're one Advanced Deal user, especially if you've got like 5 or 6 guys out on 5 or 6 different sites, the amount of times that I've forgotten to put a mark on a GA drawing, and then they phone you up, and then you've got to open up the drawings, find the model, find the mark. Well, if they've got something that they can look on their smartphone, everyone has a smartphone these days, I think it's a good entry-level gateway into the Autodesk online platforms.
Yeah, I mean, the QR code in a way, Adrian, it's just such a clever thing to do. It's just a really nice thing invariably, if you see a QR code, you're probably going to get your phone out. I mean, I did it as you were doing it. I took your QR code and I was straight in, and I took your link on as you were doing it. It's just so useful. It's going to become the norm. That this is, no disrespect to the structural industry, but it lags a little bit behind, the architectural industry and some of the other industries in terms of going or trying to go maybe paperless, or trying to look at that approach of using an iPad or using a tablet to get this information. And because you can comment and mark up and it's instant, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's just a matter of changing your mindset.
The pandemic has sort of highlighted the need for these tools as well.
Yeah.
The fact that we can't all get round in an office in a cramped porta cabin on site, and everyone crowd round a laptop. I could just send a link out to anyone, like I have done to you guys from all over the world on this call, and you can all view that model.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, you could mark it up, and then I would get an email instantly to tell me that someone's marked it up. So I think for that kind of collaboration, and again, I think the key point is that it's for people who don't have any software. We deal with people who are doing high-end architectural staircases for private domestic customers. They are not used to reading CAD drawings.
No, and the fact that you don't need to install anything either. The fact that it just opens up on your phone, it's just there, and the viewer loads.
I think for that kind of thing, the end client, if you're doing agricultural farm buildings, the end customer is a farmer. Now, farmers are actually pretty clued up on their technology, but again, they're not going to install something just to look at your shed model.
No,
so
they're
you
not.
can just say, here, open this in a web browser, have a look around, let me know what you think.
Yeah, just WhatsApp it to them. It's stuff like that. It's just
exactly
the new way. Yeah, it's a really. I mean, I started looking at that a couple of years ago when the Viewer first started to come out, and then obviously I've been doing lots of it in 360. So.
Well, I remember we've done a few presentations when you were still at Grey Tech on.
Yeah, we were sort of starting that principle. We were starting that exploratory, weren't we, into what Autodesk were coming to the table with on these tools that allowed you to view stuff. And they weren't as advanced back then. There was no. You didn't have there was always problems with properties, and there was always problems with. Stuff not coming through, but now it's just seamless. The models are there. They've been doing lots of stuff behind the scenes with the formats, I think, to getting them readable in the BIM viewer effectively. So, anything you can, it's the next level, isn't it? Just automatic publishing. And now it'll be really interesting with Autodesk Docs and the plugin to take sheets from your fabrication side of things, because that's going to be the next thing, I think, looking at just automatically taking the sheets and the fab drawings into the cloud and linking them to models, so you could click a column and then not only view the model but then actually link to the fab drawing and stuff. Once they get all that type of stuff done, then you'll be really, there'll be huge benefits from the erection side of things and on-site rather than just reviews. Thank you very much, Rob. I know you've got a couple of kids in the background, so I appreciate I appreciate for
they've been distracted by technology, so they're all right.
They've been on the iPad. So thank you very much for taking your time out. So thank you very much again for presenting and digging me out of a hole as well. I owe you a beer. I owe Svetoslav a beer as well whenever we can, however we do it. Just a quick one, the next event is June 2021. We have a speaker lined up already, which is Sebastian, which I can't wait for, to look at the Advanced Steel Booster. So it's great that there is loads of these things coming on board, and all these add-ons and all these excellent people are starting to showcase. So that should be great. I'll be announcing details on that pretty soon, and then we'll have another one in October. So I plan to do one a quarter. That's the plan. We're still on track for that. So thank you very much, everyone that's joined me. I will get this published and saved and rendered up tonight and on YouTube at some point. after I get the kids to bed on my side. So thank you very much for everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for the speakers. It's been amazing, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much.